Hey everyone, I am TheChosenOneLegend here, as always joined by my co-host.
Hi, I'm Kyle, also known as Fascurreyn.
And welcome back to the BunchaJokahs podcast, where we talk Nintendo news and gaming highlights from the past month. And, in the grand scheme of things, there's not a lot that happened this month. But what did happen, relatively big stuff, I would say, wouldn't you, Kai?
Yeah, I'd argue. Well, it's stuff that we've been waiting on for literal years at this point. So that's something,
Yeah,
and I'm not even talking about Pikmin 4 this time.
nope. It's Switch 2, baby. It's happening. We're going to definitely be talking a little bit about that later. There's a few other small bits and pieces here. And of course, we have Games Time, baby, where we talk about games we've been playing. There will be timestamps in the description below if you want to check out different sections. But let's just get on with it here and move on to the first segment of the podcast. Can't have a podcast without news, baby, where we go over said news highlights. And usually we would like talk a lot about Xenoblade X getting a new trailer. But we did its own video. So, I'll put a link below, but do check that out if you haven't already. We sort of dive in onto the trailer and our general understanding of X from our previous gameplay experience. The only other thing I guess that I'll mention here is Nintendo UK announced like pre-order bonuses, where you get like a little, like a mat, like a mouse mat. And it's not quite the collector's edition we were hoping for, but I guess it's something, right?
Yeah, it's something. I mean, yeah, we don't know if there's going to be another big set or not, do we? It's not really been confirmed either
I
way.
feel like
So
they would have said by this point if we were getting one. You'd
yeah,
think.
I'm kind of inching like, do I, don't I? Because I don't want to like pre-order it, and then like in a month's time they're like, oh, we've got this other amazing version. But yeah, like I say, I doubt, especially with the time frame that they try and do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Will you be picking this up? I think it's interesting. I'd need to think on it.
Personally, I think I've just pre-ordered it off Amazon because it's a little cheaper there, and it's like
Yeah.
something like 12 extra quid or something like that for a mouse mat and a keyring, I suppose. And it's one of those things that I'm like, I'll get and say like, this is cool, but then it's just gonna sit on my house, never use. I don't use a mouse mat, and I don't know. It's kind of
Fair.
neat, but without something more tangible like an art book, like the collector's editions often come with, I'll probably just get it where it's cheaper. Um, but what about you?
Hmm.
You thinking of caving for this if they don't announce a collector's?
I might. I won't lie. I do like the keyring a lot.
It's cool. It is neat.
Yeah,
They
I
never
love a
gave
good
me my
convict
Xenoblade DE
keyring.
keyring. Them never got
Really,
it.
you never
I
got yours,
complained,
man.
and they never sent it. But I didn't care enough to re-complain. But
Yeah, I might just for the flex of having it.
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, I'll have to think on it. I'll have to think on it. It's a little tempting.
it's
Of course,
something.
for me, it won't just be me playing it, but I think my dad will also probably give it another go.
Yeah,
So if he wants to use them, I think he uses a mouse pad. I don't. So maybe there's some value there.
yeah. It's not a bad addition. There's definitely been more boring things. It's not just like stickers or whatever. So that's kind
Mm.
of neat. And in general, yeah, I'm just again watch our video for our full thoughts. But I'm just very hyped to get on with this game to get back into it. So
Yeah.
bring on March. No, is it March? Yes, it's March 20 something. I should remember the date, but it's gonna be hype. And I guess our next thing, which is a very small story, is they officially announced Sonic 4, Sonic the Hedgehog 4, the movie, is coming out March 19th, 2027, which a little quicker than I thought, but I guess it's not too surprising given we won't spoil it here, but there's a post credits which teases another movie as they usually do, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, it's we're gonna need to do like another meet up in Stratford again, Kai. I missed the last one, but
Yeah.
Sonic 4
I will say
2027, baby.
2027 feels
Yeah,
it feels like a really long way away, but I get a bad feeling it's going to come very quickly.
that's the scary part. I still remember like us meeting up for like Sonic 1, Kai, and that was 2019, so it doesn't feel that long ago.
That's freaky, very freaky.
Yeah, I would usually speculate on the film here, but again, if you watch the post credits, you know what it's going to focus on. So yeah, it's a good film, Sonic 3 was. So this is likely going to be good as well. But
Yeah, I've got some theories. I think they might go like a lot of origin story slash like back to the original Sonic series kind of stuff.
They do
I think
keep
it's gonna be a
getting
lot of
more
that.
and more Sonic World focused each movie, don't they? Or the Sonic cast focused.
Yeah.
So I can definitely see that being the case. We'll have to obviously keep an eye on that one for more news. But the big one, of course, we got our Switch 2 announcement video just out of nowhere on like a random Thursday, just after we'd finished recording a podcast, so it kind of lined up
Yeah,
perfectly
we were
for
just
us,
about
really.
to end the call, I think, and it
Yeah.
showed up.
So can't complain. But we did do a reaction video. If you want to see our initial impressions, that's also up on the channel, so do check that out. But a week on, let's just start with the console itself. What do you think of what they showed of the Switch 2, Kai?
I'll start by saying I don't find it exciting. I don't think a lot of people do, because I don't think it's designed to be exciting. It's just designed to be like, hey, look, the console, like the format works really well. We're not going to unnecessarily change that. Like, let's just have the same thing,
Exactly.
but slightly upgraded. So it just looks like a slight upgrade. I've seen some people say that it looks worse. Personally, I don't have an eye for that kind of thing. I've seen people saying, "Oh, the sides are going to snap off. That's poorly designed." You really think they haven't tested that?
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. Yeah, so I don't know. Overall, it's like oh, okay, cool. Yeah, like this probably from my like knowledge, it's probably the best thing they could have done is just say, look, it's the same thing that works, but improved. So I like it. It's good.
Yeah, it looks like a Switch 2, but better, a little bigger, and it's going to be more powerful, and that's kind of all we wanted. That's what we've been saying we wanted for the past, I don't know, 4 years at this point. So, although it's nothing revolutionary, especially considering a lot of people had already seen what the console looked like through leaks, I don't really keep up with those, but it's like, well, yeah, you're not going to be surprised if you've been following every single leak post for the past month. Yeah, it's going to be what you think it's going to be. But it's promising. It's nice they announce, hey, you can get all your previous games or work on it. They said with some exceptions, but I'm assuming that just means Labo, stuff that needs the smaller Joy-Con to fit in, or the IR camera, which may or may not be in this new one. I think everything else is going to work. So I'm not
Pretty
really worried
reasonable,
about that.
I think.
Yeah, I guess the only thing that this is apparently something that was rumored, and they kind of show it off in a weird way in the trailer. Is this that you can use the Joy-Con like a mouse? This is it's something that's apparently in like the leaked specs, and you do see when they put the straps on, people like sort of sliding them across the surface, which seems like a tease of that potential feature. Like, people seem hyped about it. I can't think of like many ways I'd want to do that myself, but I guess like PC game ports, I suppose.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I think there's potential there is exactly that, like PC game ports. Off the bat,
Yeah.
we need to figure out, is that actually what's happening in the trailer? Because it looks like that. It absolutely does. I'm not sure if this is people getting their hopes up or not, though, because I'm not convinced it was intentional.
No, if it was just the trailer itself and people theorizing, I would be like, you're reaching. It's weird they lingered on it too much, but it's nothing. It's just like a fancy animation. But the fact that apparently, in all the rumored, and I haven't been keeping up with it, but apparently in all the leaks, which have been one-to-one with what we're seeing, those leaks mention the mouse mode. So when you combine the two elements, supposedly it was something people knew about before. It's not just a theory based on the trailer. It was something, leaked or at least rumored, and then we see them do that in the animation. So combined, it's like that is probably a real thing.
I didn't know that. That's wild. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm leaning into this a little bit more now. Yeah, okay. I mean, I think there's a lot of potential because, like I say, like any game that previously uses a mouse, having a mouse mode just makes life kind of easy.
Yeah.
You know, for people who have it set up at a desk, which I'd wager is quite a few. You know, you can have it there. Just take the Joy-Con off, use it. Like, if that is legit, that's kind of crazy good. Okay, yeah. There's
Stuff
suddenly
like
a lot of potential with that. Can you imagine a WarioWare game with that
yeah.
control scheme?
And people have mentioned things like if they want to do DS ports, that the Switch itself has a touchscreen. But if you want to play docked, that's maybe a way to
God, Inazuma
replicate
11.
it. There
The
you
level
go.
5 devs are so like angry right now that they weren't told about this sooner.
I mean, who knows? Maybe an Inazuma 11 port can still be released before the new game comes out, Kai, at this point. Let's be real here. But
yeah, that's crazy. Oh wow. Okay, I'm actually really invested in this now.
yeah, it's stuff
there's
like
so much potential. I'm
even
hoping
games that
they do
have-
like a trailer for it.
yeah, even games that have console releases in like Civilization, that would be better with the mouse.
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate 3, if that comes to Switch too, better with a mouse. It's definitely got potential. It's not something I would have ever predicted, but seeing as it looks like they're teasing it in that video, like, yeah, I can sort of see the idea of functionality with that. I'm down with it.
I will say I'm never one to care much about hardware, but
Hmm.
I would be very interested in a video that unpacks a Joy-Con that also acts as a mouse.
Yeah.
I think that would be super interesting.
They definitely have been doing some crazy stuff, and I guess, like, considering it seems relatively, like you said, a safe iteration from the Switch One, if that is true, that's a pretty cool, like, hey, it's for most people it's the same, but here's another option that's baked into the console. Like, that's a pretty good way of doing it. So
Yeah,
that's
huge for that
definitely intriguing.
third-party support.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, which has been so strong on the Switch One, it's only going to continue, I'm sure. But
Yeah, very, very big news there. I didn't know that at all. That's mad.
Yeah, and I guess the only other the Switch itself, again, most of it is just it looks the same. So the only thing that shows off the use of the console is the game we saw. We saw a new game which seems to be Mario Kart 9 or 10 if tour counts, or a new Mario Kart, yeah, for the Switch, and it's been fascinating looking at this. First of all, I'm guessing, I mean, you pointed out yourself in the reveal, Kai, that all like the characters are like redesigned to look more classic in kind of a sense.
Yes.
Which is interesting.
Sort of taking inspo from Wonder, I think, a little bit too, in Mario's
Yeah.
design. Like, just kind of, they're going back to, like, I don't know, a different / old style. I like it, though.
It's very notable in Donkey Kong, where he's got the full-on classic, like, before Donkey Kong Country sort of style design, which is a bit more in line with like the Mario movie, so maybe there's some synergy there.
Yeah.
But it also I guess maybe they're making more advantage of the power of the Switch, having characters animate more. It's looking interesting, but also, like, I guess the other notable thing is there were like spots for 24 races on the track, and the track looks wider. So it seems like there's potential for it to be a huge upgrade for a Mario Kart game, which is interesting because, we've had how long, like 12 years at this point, basically, with Deluxe and the original version. So it's about time for innovation,
Yeah.
I suppose.
Interesting to upgrade it, yeah, from 12. Logically, for me, I would think, okay, the next step is 16 races, right? 16
Yeah.
is a very round number for these kind of things. That's 4 consoles of 4 players each. Like, that seemed obvious to me. So to go straight up to 24 is a bit mad.
Yeah.
But I guess they're showing off that that's what they're capable of on these new servers. Yeah, sure. I'm not sure I'm ever going to fill out a 24-player lobby, but it sure would be interesting.
Maybe on the stream someday, if like our friend Samm manages to do it, maybe he could get a big enough lobby. But or online with
I mean,
randoms
there's interesting stuff with that as well. Of like the course that they showed looked massive.
Yeah.
And normally these Mario Kart courses, like, some of them are big, but there's always something interesting happening. And on this course, a lot of it didn't look like there was anything going on. So I wonder if this is all blending into a new style where, like, You know, maybe they're doing something completely unique. I've seen theories about there being like pit stops and tire changes and like boost gauges and things like that. So potentially they go in like a traditional racing game route, or maybe they've got wonder seeds. I don't know. Like, it feels like there's something more to that game, like a new gimmick that they're leaving out. Because 24 races and big open empty tracks is not normal Mario Kart. That's not what they'd willingly show off. So there's more to it that we're yet to see.
There could be more, like, this could be just like an early track. It could be like the default starter one or something.
That's true.
Things could be more. Yeah, could develop more. But I think you're onto something that I think they are going to innovate. You know, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's basically, you know, the ultimate, the Smash Ultimate of Mario Kart, especially with the Booster Pass course, where they've got nearly every track, they've got nearly every playable character. It sort of runs to perfection. It's like, okay, if you're going to do something new, it's going to feel inferior to 8 Deluxe unless you do something completely different. So it seems like they're paying attention to that and doing something new here. And either way, just like, yeah, this is almost undoubtedly going to be a launch title if they're showing it off here. So if you want to make your console do well, launch it with a Mario Kart. Yeah, that's going to do it.
Oh,
that's going to do gangbusters.
It's a very good chance that is the highest selling game of the Switch 2.
Yeah.
I'd be amazed if it wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. It's most likely at this point. And I mean, look, we're going to get it. So it's, yeah, obviously it's Mario Kart. So that's a good way to show it off. I almost feel like it would have been a bit better if they showed off a few more games, or even like a little bit more than just what we got. Like, if you look at like the Switch 1 reveal, for example, people have been comparing it to that. But what I honestly, if I had to put money on it, I wonder if they really wanted to show it off at the April. That's their big blowout, which of course they announced we're getting a big full-on reveal in April, a direct, that'll be what we're wanting. But I imagine maybe they wanted to do it all there, but they're like, people aren't going to last that long. People are going to freak out if we make them wait any more months. So let's do a short, brief tease of what it is, and then the big blowout then. This is more like a to keep you going, I suppose, kind of announcement.
Yeah, it's a very interesting time, like when they decided to announce all of this, and who knows on the release and all of that. I'm still trying to figure out exactly why they're doing it with the timings they are. See, originally I thought it was something to do with the financial new year, and then I realised the financial new year is like different globally, and I was like, okay, that throws that idea out the window. It must be sales oriented, right? So we've still got those obvious times in mind. I'm really not sure. I'm not sure where they're going to go with it, but I do think we might get a mouse controller based trailer and then maybe another one. I don't know. I think there's some good stuff on the way, and they are definitely holding back.
Yeah, this was basically just the gist of what we thought it was. Like, yes, this is a Switch 2, it's coming, but there's more to show. That's for sure. And on that note, some people are going to get a chance to try it themselves come after that April Direct, because in April 11th to 13th in the UK, and across various places in the world up to like June, I believe, they are doing a tour of a Switch 2 experience where you get to get your hands on with it. And Kai and I missed out on it. We tried. we didn't get tickets, as many haven't. Two of our friends did though, so we have a scoop. We have them to tell us how it is. And we're on the wait list in case people drop out. But that's interesting.
Yeah. I'll be very curious to see like what they show off there, because they've got to have some games on there, right?
Mario
the
Kart,
Nintendo
probably.
Switch 2. I mean, here's the thing: the Nintendo Switch has games. Will the Nintendo Switch 2? Maybe that's the new feature. It doesn't have any games.
Maybe that isn't
like
a game.
PS5
Maybe that was
all
a
over
film,
again.
Mario Kart. It was just like you just watch it. So
Yeah, you know,
we're already
onto
getting the
something
experience.
Yeah, genuine. It's the Xbox series, I guess now.
Hey.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think it's interesting. I do wonder what they'll show off. It's cool that they're doing this, and they've kept it open to the public. You know, the fact that they've done it as a random lotto thing is cool.
Yeah.
You know, any ways to avoid scalpers is always good. I mean, obviously there aren't going to be scalpers for this in the traditional sense, but there are people selling tickets.
Already, yeah.
Yeah, but no, I think it'll be interesting. I'm looking forward. At least we know that a couple of us are there, so at the very least we should have like a decent first-hand review of like what goes on in
Yeah.
April.
Exactly, and you never know. Again, we're on that wait list. If we manage to get through, that'll be great. But if not, well, we get to play it when it comes out eventually. And that is the other thing is people are sort of speculating when this is going to release. We only know 2025. And the general theory I see is that the experience ends in June. So maybe the Switch 2 comes out around then, summer 2025. Alternatively,
Maybe.
I think, winter like October is a common release schedule for consoles. The Wii U released around then, PS4 and that did, so that's like the backup, but I would like it to be summer.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take whatever. My backlog is huge, so I actually don't mind if it comes out later rather than sooner.
No, that's fair.
Like, weirdly enough, I'll have Xenoblade X to complete before then.
Oh boy.
So yeah, no, I mean, there's always that. And like I say, if we ever need to, like, we can always have our next video be how we impersonated two of our friends and stole their identities to get into the experience. So,
oh yeah,
keep your eyes peeled.
That's the content you're here for, so we're working on it. Hopefully they're not listening to this video.
Crime vlog, let's do it. No.
Bunch of criminals, woo!
Woohoo.
I'm sure Samm will be in to help us. He's already, basically a criminal. But yeah. So that's looking like it for the Switch 2. Yeah, it's looking good. Do you have any last thoughts or expectations before I move on to the next bit, Kai?
Not really. No, I think that's pretty much everything covered.
Yeah, and because the next bit sort of ties in here. Now, I don't usually go too much on like rumors, but this one I thought was interesting enough that it's worth addressing. Is that there's talk that there might actually, in spite of this big April Direct coming out, that people think there might be a February Direct for the Switch 1, for the final embers of the Switch. And now, again, rumour, we don't know if it's true, but it would be interesting. We do know of Switch 1 games that are coming, like Metroid Prime 4 still, which, could be cross-gen, could be both, we don't know. There's, like, Pokemon Legends ZA was announced as, like, a Switch game, I believe. So, again, could be both, could just be a Switch one, could release not before, because they'll probably tell us more on Pokemon Day, which is next month for that one. But yeah, what do you think about this, Kai? Do you think there's potential? Do you think they still might have a few Switch 1 games left to announce?
I think it's weird. I think it's very weird, because if they've already announced the sequel console, like, and it's not even like it's a different console for a different set of games, it's basically the same. I think it would be very strange for them to announce anything that isn't for the new console. Unless they're going for a really late release date and need some stuff to cover in the meantime, which is possible. I don't know. It seems really odd to me.
It's hard because we're in this, compared to like the Wii U and Switch, technically, like, as we established, the Switch 2 does play Switch games. And we saw with like the PS5 and Xbox, most games that released for that were still playable on the PS4 for like years afterwards. And it's hard to say if Nintendo will do the same approach. I feel like it's less likely, considering how underpowered the Switch is by today's standards, that a lot of games aren't going to work. But I do think we are going to get some that are going to be made for both. I feel like that's still possible. And we are probably getting a few more games we don't know about before the Switch 2 releases. Although it almost would have made more sense to do the Twitter release drop. They've done that before. Here's a Donkey Kong remake, we already have that, but, coming out next month, announce it on Twitter. That makes more sense than a full-on direct. So you kind of wonder how much left there is to show. Or if it could be more like a third-party sort of thing. Like a partner showcase, maybe, would make more sense. But,
yeah,
it's tough to say.
Strange, isn't it? Like, the idea of it this late on.
Yeah, I do wonder if it is a direct in February, maybe that's partly why we got the, like, small tease of the Switch 2 here, rather than April. It's because, okay, if people don't know when the Switch 2 is coming out, and we give a Switch 1 Direct in February without having announced a Switch 2, people are going to be like freaking out. Like, where's the Switch 2 news? Is it dead? Is it delayed? So,
Yeah.
like, maybe that could be a factor, and that could back it up. It could also not be true, but I definitely do
Yeah.
think there are more There are more Switch 1 games left. You know, could probably something basic
Interesting.
like maybe like the long-awaited, long-rumored Fire Emblem remake that's been, you know, rumored for years, or Twilight Princess and Wind Waker ports. You know, it could be something basic like those, but we'll have to see. Obviously, if there is one, we'll be reacting to it. You know, so we'll keep an eye
Yeah,
out.
of
But
course.
I thought it was interesting to speculate on that one.
Yeah, it's just strange because, like, remember when we had a drought of no Nintendo Direct for how long was it?
Oh, with
It
COVID
was
and
a
that.
very long time. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was a very long time. Like now would be the time to have that in theory, but not
yeah,
like I don't know. It's like weird timing. And I also want to add, it's very funny that we're going to be getting a whole new console before Prime 4's even released.
yeah.
Like it's been what 8? Well, I guess it's coming on to 8 years now. It's crazy.
Well, that's the thing. Some people think, you know, is Prime for a Switch 2 launch game? You know, like Breath of the Wild was for Wii U and Switch. Like that would kind of make sense. I
Mm.
feel like it would line up timeline wise as well, if it's coming out either summer or winter. Um, but that's true though. I guess if we do get a February Direct, that will be what's in there and what isn't. Will be telling, right? You know, so
Very,
Uh,
yeah.
and I guess we still don't know like how are they going to do the approach for the Switch 2 with Switch 1 games, you know. Is Breath of the Wild going to have like a paid update where like paid £10 and it runs better and looks visually better? Or is it going to be like it just inherently runs a little better? Are they going to like, hey, charge £70 for Breath of the Wild Deluxe because I wouldn't put it past them? It's we don't know what approach they're taking on the Switch 1 to Switch 2 like backwards compatibility yet. So I'm very curious to see that in April because I'm guessing that's when we'll find out. But hard to
Lots of
say.
stuff on the way.
Yeah, a lot to speculate, but we'll just have to wait and see on that one. And I guess that is it for the all the news for the month. So let's move on to our final segment of the podcast, Games Time Baby, where we talk about games that we've been playing as we wait for that damn Switch 2. And Kai, give us one of yours. What's one thing you've been playing?
Which one do you want first?
Ooh, you know what? Let's have a party, Kai. Give us a bit of a party here.
Let's do that. So, for Christmas, I picked up Mario Party Jamboree.
Woo!
The big new Mario Party. This is like what the third one on the Switch now, and me being a
Yeah.
sucker, I have all three of them now. And it's interesting. I think there's a lot of interesting, good stuff here. There's a lot of positives. Like it's got its own little solo mode where normally the solo modes are just play the boards against computers. Not in
Yeah.
this one. You get to just freely roam the board and talk to all the characters like NPCs. And like they do this really funny thing. It reminds me of how Level 5 does story writing, where they'll try and relate what the characters are saying to the mini game you're about to play.
Oh
So,
yeah.
for example, you'll be on the Bowser stage where there's a bullet bill, and they'll be like, "Oh, there's a malfunctioning bullet bill. Can you help me?" And then the mini game is that like game of chicken one where it's a 1v3 where like the one is in a massive bonsai bill, and it's like
Right. Yeah.
they just get more and more absurd in terms of how they try and relate the dialogue of a character to a mini game you're about to play. And it's like,
Hmm.
yeah, this feels like Leighton writing. Um, where like a
It's
puzzle is the source of everything. It's funny.
I haven't actually played it, but what you're saying reminds me of like didn't Mario and Sonic at the London Olympics have like a thing we could like move around and interact with other characters on like a map or something?
Yeah, that was
Um,
kind of like that. Yeah,
yeah.
it's reminiscent. It's pretty fun. It's like just a single player take it at your own pace thing. It's very casual, which I like.
Yeah, that's good.
it's fun. It helps you explore the boards.
Hmm.
The actual main party mode is fun. 7 boards, which is 2 returning and 5 new. I think that's a really, really good mix. Like, especially considering the first Mario Party on the Switch had 4 boards that were very small, and that was it.
Yeah.
Like this having 7, which is 5 new, 2 returning, is a really good mix. They're all fun, I'll say that. Like, I've actually really enjoyed all of them. The gimmicks are good. So all of that's been fun. And my favourite part of the main mode is Pro Rules. So this is a new thing in this game where I think it's kind of designed to be used for online matches, because there's now like a ranked thing. I've never done the ranked, but I have played Pro Rules offline. And it's all these specific rules, like it's exactly 12 turns, you get told what the 1 bonus star is at the start. All of the shops have predetermined items that they share, and the stock of them is limited and shared between all players. So there's only 2 mushrooms in the game, 2 golden pipes, 2 double dice, 2 triple dice, stuff like that. So there's an incentive to buy from shops different to before, because you got to think, oh, if I don't buy this early, someone else is going to take it. You know, should I spend all of my money off the bat to get this golden pipe or not?
Yeah.
Everyone starts with everyone gets a starting item. Like you get an option of all the basic ones, and you get to choose one. What else is there? On mini games, you vote on what you want to play, and then it chooses. Like each vote is basically like Mario Kart 8's online.
Yeah.
Where it'll choose randomly from those. Like, everything about the Pro Rules I think is really interesting. And obviously there's still an element of luck, because you still roll the dice as normal, and at the end of the day it's Mario Party. Chance time is taken out, but that's it. So there's still so much luck, but I think it's a really fun way of playing the game, especially when I'm just trying to go through the boards against the CPUs. Because obviously they're annoying in casual mode. When I played 1 board casually and lost like 2 stars from a chance time or something.
Yeah.
Also, boos are like the coins they set are predetermined. That's another funny one. So yeah, overall, I just think it's like a really fun party mode. The Pro Rules is a really cool way of doing it when you want to play with friends, and like, you know, you can still get angry at the luck, but it's not like it can upturn the whole game as much. So I just think everything about it is a really cool idea. So that's all good. Characters are good. There's a huge supply. I'll say for the whole game, I played as Shy Guy, because that's who I played as in the other ones. With the CPU always being Goomba, Spike, and Koopa, because I was like, oh, let's have a little minion party. Not like Despicable Me minions, that's a different game.
I don't know, Kai. I've seen you sharing like the Facebook Mum's Minion memes all the time on Twitter and that.
I do. You know. Yeah. Also, Ninja is the new character. That's always fun.
Yeah, I like that one.
And Pauline. Yeah. So that's neat. Side modes. What side modes are there? The normal minigame mode is kind of whatever. It's not very interesting. But then they've got quite a few interesting ones. They've got the Coopathlon, which was their big multiplayer mode of you can have 20 people online, and there are like certain coin mini games, like their own series of them, that you play through on repeat until someone finishes the race, I guess. And again, I played a lot of this offline. I didn't do any online because I knew I'd get angry. And yeah, honestly, I mean, it's probably the Wi-Fi. And yeah, it was a good time. I think the Coopathlon's a fun mode. Like, it's cool to have that many people on screen. The other modes, there's I can't remember what it's called now, like Bowser Takedown or something. And that's another fun 8-player one where everyone has to run around the map, break like boxes to get bombs, and then you have to carry those bombs to a cannon to then shoot Bowser. So it's a bit of teamwork of like one person needs to lure him away, the rest of you need to start breaking different boxes and get them back. After completing team mini games, like 8-player team ones, you get items that you can use, like boost pads and banana pills and all of that. It's actually surprisingly in-depth with 3 different maps. It feels like a what is it? Nintendo Land game. It absolutely, I want to say reeks, but I mean it in a positive way of every sense. Of it feels really, really strongly like a Nintendo Land game.
I miss Nintendo Land.
And I think with 8 people, it would be a brilliant time.
You are
in fact, it would be even more fun if a 9th person could be Bowser, but that's not an option.
that would be Nintendo Land. They'd be using the gamepad. But
Yeah.
yeah, that you're like I didn't pick this up just because I got Superstars and I enjoy it, but I haven't really played that. So I thought, well, I've got a Mario Party if I want to play one. There's no point getting a second. But you are selling me on this one. Like it's, I don't know. If I see it at a good price, I might pick it up soon. You are tempting me.
Yeah, there's even more of like, there's a motion mini game where like you hold the Joy-Cons out like wings and flap. And then there's the Rhythm Kitchen, which is just a bunch of rhythm games, which is fun. I will say, overall, out of the three on the Switch, having sort of 100%ed all of them, as much as you can in a Mario Party anyway,
Yeah.
this is definitely the best one, like by a pretty wide margin.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate, because I wish the first one that they released was just the best one, so we didn't have to buy the other two, which is what I've done, but like just thinking, oh, like surely, this one's better, and it keeps happening. But no, this is definitely the best one, the pro rules, all the different mini games. Overall, it just does a lot of good stuff. So yeah, I just wish that I didn't buy the other two first. But yeah, no, it's a good time. That's all I can say. It's a good time, and maybe it'll go on offer at some point for you.
Yeah, it's nice to see after like 9 and 10 had such bad reputations, and then like the 3DS one and that people it was in a not a good place, the series, but it's nice that they keep getting better now, and if that continues, then hey, maybe we'll get an even better one on Switch too. So which will release in like 2 years because they rapid fire these things out, but still, it's nice to hear it's on the uptrend.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, I guess for myself, I also have two games. So I'll start with one that I actually beat like the day after we recorded the last month's podcast. So it's been a while, but if I can rack my brain back that time, I played and beat Astro Bot, the new one on PS5, and like to be honest, I don't have much to say because it's just a good, fun Astro Bot game. It's it won Game of the Year. It has all this big reputation, but it's really as simple as that. Like it takes what you liked about the tech demo of Astro Bot if you played that at launch, and it just makes bigger levels, has more character references. Like every level's like some sort of new gimmick, but it's very fun. It's very interesting. That it's bright and colourful. The music's popping off. It's I Am Astro Bot has been in my head ever since. It's all like just a very solid 3D platformer, and whilst I personally don't put it on like full-on Game of the Year level, just because I don't think it doesn't do anything crazy new. When you and I don't, recently John from Good Vibes Gaming did a video actually showing that like all the level themes and bosses are directly taken from the VR game and music as well. So it's not even new for Astro Bot. That's not a problem because they do new stuff with them, and most people haven't played the VR game, But that to say, it's really not doing anything revolutionary. It's taking ideas and mechanics that platformers have done for years. It doesn't give you that crazy special feeling for when you play Odyssey and you get to that last bit with Bowser, and it's like, holy shit, like Astro Bot doesn't do anything on that level to make it like a top tier game. But it also doesn't need to, because it's just so consistently good that, yeah, it's absolutely worth buying. It's a really fun game to platinum. They added speedruns to it, Kai, so there you go, that's a selling point. And I believe it's getting more DLC as well, because it got some levels just free, no extra cost. So, like, yeah, it's just consistently great, and it's kind of nice amidst, playing big RPGs, and we've got Xenoblade X coming out soon, and like just to have like, hey, fun short platformer, that's charming. That's what I wanted, and it's what you get. So I know it's on your list, good. Kai. I'm sure you'll enjoy it when you get to it.
Yeah, I have my list. I'm about to start Jamboree. Not Jamboree, I've beaten that.
Again?
I'm about to start Brothership. And then Astro is on after that, pretty much. So I should be on it in a month or two.
Yeah, no, you'll have a blast with it. And then I'll have to go play it again because speedruns. But hey, I enjoyed it.
Hey, we're still speedrunning the first game.
We are.
Have you played that recently? I haven't checked.
Not recently. I've been too immersed in my game that I'll get to in a little bit. But it's on my list, and you've actually like you're beating me by like 2 seconds now, which seems like barely
Yes.
anything. But in the grand scheme of these speedruns, that's a decent amount of time. So,
Yeah, I grinded out the climbing run. I finally managed to get a good one.
oh, it's painful. Like what I realized I was doing because I actually the next for like genuinely for 3 days after doing like the monkey climbing one on the original Astro Bot speedrun, my arms were in agony and I couldn't move them properly. And I realized it was when I was doing like swinging my arms up to do like the flip on the bars. I was doing that weirdly where I'd like pulled a muscle in both my arms or something. So it genuinely made me ache playing that speedrun. So we'll see.
You know what my strategy ended up being for some of that?
Oh yeah?
Occasionally, every couple runs, I closed my eyes. I did it with my eyes closed and just felt out the vibes.
I can see that. You know, that's
Only for the first
strat.
part, because the first part's the hardest.
It's interesting because the Astro Bot 2 speedruns, they're more gimmicky than the first one, which is kind of I think is a bit of a down step. You know, whereas the first one had like half of them are just like standard speedruns, half of them use like the special items. Basically, all of them use special items in Astro Bot 2, but none of them are as obnoxious as like the monkey one. You know, so you're still better off. But you'll see soon. Astro Bot good anyway. Good game.
Yeah. Okay.
And until then, Kai, well, I think I better buckle up for your next one because, oh boy.
Well, the reason I, don't, I can actually play other games now is because I've finally finished Rebirth. It's done.
Yes.
It's complete. I finished the final boss. All of that is done. Yeah, interesting. Obviously, you weren't very keen on the ending, partly because of circumstance.
Yeah.
Man, what? What the hell? We're not gonna spoil. Get that out of the way. This is not spoilers.
I mean, the thing is, even if we said spoilers right now, it would just be us still going, what the for like
Yeah,
half
we
an hour.
wouldn't be able to explain it. I'm very confused. I did read up on some theories. I was travelling back from Paris the other day, and I spent like an hour of the car ride just reading theories.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, now's a good time to do it. So yeah, overall, I mean, I've given my overall thoughts on the game already, so I can just very briefly repeat those of, I think it's insanely good overall, like, very fun, repeatable combat, really good side quests, really good story, the visuals are good, the music's good. Everything it does is really good, especially with mini-games. I'm a sucker for good mini-games, so...
Oh, they're fun.
I have some bias. So overall, just really, really strong. Like, the only thing I haven't touched on, obviously, is the ending, which I still won't spoil, but I will say I didn't mind it. I didn't feel burnt out at any point like you did, but that's probably because you almost warned me of that, of like it could happen, because it happened to you. So I was very wary of taking my time. Yeah, I did. Like, I only played it like once a week, pretty much. For a day or so, half a day. So that helped me to pace it out. I made sure to give myself enough timing for the end, and I thought it was an interesting end. Again, it's a weird one. I don't know exactly how to feel about it.
Like
in a way, it feels like less of a climax. I don't know.
Without spoilers, I feel like it undermines itself in a lot of ways. Whilst I still like it, and I did like the ending, and I think it's interesting. And we'll probably talk more about this once we finish recording, to be honest with you. Or maybe if we do a spoiler discussion, we've talked about the idea down the line. But yeah, it's still like I'm still hyped for free. Like, obviously I'm still all in on this.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's going to be really, really fun.
Yeah.
So there's some good ideas there. I'm really interested to see where it's headed. But I did think Rebirth was brilliant. It did some really cool stuff. Again, the ending was strange to say the least. I still liked it. I thought the final boss stuff was interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I do plan on going back to Rebirth to just kind of see what I need to clean up. Apparently, there was one side quest I didn't get the perfect route on. It was one of the
Oh
last
yeah.
ones with the cat, and I have no idea how I failed it because the game didn't really tell me. As well as that,
No.
there's some other things like random achievements I might want to get, or maybe just play more Queen's Blood because I
There
really
are
enjoy Queen's
new
Blood.
there are like new challenge battles post game as well and that. So
Oh, I don't know if I've got the patience for them.
well no. Yeah, I can't blame you. I immediately saw that, was like nope. Like when one of the I was considering going platinum until I saw one of them was like do all in hard mode, and yeah, no way. Big nope. But it's still good. Yeah, like I still have fond memories of it, and get back to it someday. Before the next game, maybe I'll replay it. But it's an endeavor to replay, as you can vouch for.
Yeah, so it's good. It's obviously a mammoth series
Yeah.
that I think is going to have a real sort of firecracker ending. So there's a chance that we do a discussion separately on that. We're not 100%, we'll see how much Switch 2 news we get pretty much.
Yeah, that's true.
So we'll see. But yeah, overall, I mean, again, this was my game of the year last year. And yeah, it's
Same.
one of the best games. I like it. I think for games I've played, I would put it in top 5 overall. So
No, I couldn't blame
solid.
you. Yeah, it's up there. And I guess I'll end things off here with my final game. From one insanity to the other, because we're talking NieR here now. I've been playing NieR Replicant, and that the series speaks for itself in that regards. But yeah, it's technically I am not finished, because if you've played a NieR game and you've heard the age-old words of wisdom from our friend Oliver, it's keep playing. When you think you're done, keep playing. And oh boy, I'm still playing. But I've beaten 2 routes, so I am mostly done. And I'll touch on the final endings next month. But just to sort of give my general impressions of the game, like it is good. Like you know what you're getting into if you know anything about NieR. Beautiful world, very interesting characters with a lot of depth to them. Crazy lore stuff that I'm probably never going to understand all of, but that is still interesting to find out what bits I do understand. Music, it's god tier. Like, yeah, it's all up there. And I mean, you're thinking of playing Automata yourself on stream soon, right, Kai? So
yeah, I've
buckle
got
up.
plans for the near future. Yeah.
Hey, near future. Anyway, yeah. So talking about Replicant specifically, it's definitely this game came out before NieR, but before NieR Automata. But it's I keep switching between Automata and Automata. I never know, whatever. But Replicant, it's a remake of the original NieR game. So although it's technically more recent, the remake, it feels like a PS3 game. I'll say it's a lot smaller in scope. The combat is a lot more basic without that sort of Platinum Games flair to it. It's still fun. It's still enjoyable. And especially when you get more weapons later on, you can switch between like two-handed and spears. It's basically the Breath of the Wild weapon system, I suppose. But
Okay.
that makes it fun. But oh boy, I hope you like backtracking, because the world is very small. And basically, you are going to walk back and forth between different areas across a very minimal map that is not any exploration to it really. It's just pretty much a straight line. You're going to be walking back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And that's just for the main story, let alone if you do side quests. And like just as an example, there's one place where you have to like climb up this tower. You have to do it on your first playthrough. You have to do it 3 times. If you want another ending, well, that's another 2 times, and that's without side quests. And it's exactly the same each time, just without, just slightly different enemies. And you start to see it's got a real ingrained problem where it doesn't have that. The world design is nowhere near like it is in Automata, and the pacing's nowhere near as good, and the combat isn't as good to keep you there. So it sounds like I'm being really negative on it, because it has a lot of problems in its age. But the thing is, despite all of that, I'm still having fun with it. That's the thing. Like, it's just a fun enough world that I'm kind of just engrossed in it. I'm happy to just chill with the vibes and basically treat it like you do, like an Animal Crossing game or farming game where you sort of go out the grind and you do the same things a lot of the time, but you have fun doing it. And between those bits, you're going to get crazy story stuff. You're going to get emotionally attached to your main cast, Protag, who's you can name, Kaine's great, and Mil's great. The banter between them, and like even in like the side quests, which are fully voiced, all fantastic, all hilarious, and meaningful at times as well. So the writing in that is as peak as it's ever been. I feel like they could have, as a remake, they could have tidied things up more. Like, you get fast travel later, but even that's limited. And just let me pick on the map, go here, and warp there. Not have to go between specific spots, and you can't warp to every town. And they could have gone a bit further in with it. But I'm still enjoying. Like, I rarely do all quests in games, but I have done every single side quest. I've got every single weapon. And I'm just now got to do a few small bits and one final replay with some minor changes to actually, beat everything in the game. And I don't usually do that. It's the kind of thing I would usually cheap out of, but it says enough that it's kept my interest for this long. So although, on a scale of how top-notch Automata is, it's definitely below that. It's still NieR. It's still great, and it's a fun time. And I'm intrigued to see where it goes because I've still got a little bit left remaining. But thank you, Oliver, you mad
to get
lad.
into it.
Yep.
Because it just looks weird, and I don't know anything about it, like at all.
No, that's kind of why I don't want to say anything more, because you don't.
Yeah.
And like Automata, I think Automata, despite the fact it's the second game, it's more like lore connected than it is directly connected. So you can do it any order. And I think Automata's the way better starting point. It's just a better game all around. It's a better game to play, and it's just inherently better designed. Even things like the replays, where you have to sort of redo bits in Replicant, it's very similar, whereas Automata mixes things up a little bit even when you redo stuff. It's way better at that kind of thing. So, it's still a better starting point, I think. But like, if you play Automata and you love it, which a lot of people do, then go check out Replicant, I think. But yeah, I'm so intrigued to see you react to it, Kai. It's insane. Like, I can't even describe it, and I wouldn't if I could, because you just have to experience it for yourself. And as our friend says, keep playing. So, here we go.
I'm a little worried. I know what the reputation of these creators are.
I'm just going to say, I mean, obviously, there's like character designs is a thing. Automata has a bit of a reputation for that. Replicants even worse.
I meant more so like it's gonna like tear my heart out or something. Like there's gonna be some software that reaches out of the screen.
Well, that's
and,
the
like,
thing.
Tears out my eyeballs. I'm not sure.
It does both simultaneously, Kai. That's the thing.
Oh, okay. That's really reassuring, actually.
Yeah. This is and of course, if you do want to check out where Kai's streaming, twitch.tv/Fascurreyn, right, Kai? You got a little bit left. You got some other games to play first.
Yeah. Well, I'm about to start Project Eden's Garden, the chapter 1. So that's what I'm doing next on stream, and then I'll be doing NieR. So
yeah,
I think I don't think anything else will get in the way. It's not an astral chain, so should be all right.
Indeed, and you can also find myself on Twitch at twitch.tv/TheChosenOneLegend, where I'm just finishing SpongeBob and going to be playing the Zero Escape series, which I feel is another insanity, probably, if I had to guess. Also, another rabbit hole Oliver sending us down, so you can blame him for everything, basically. Thank you, Oliver. But, yeah, so check those. There'll be links in the description below, as well as a link to our friend Samm, who does our thumbnail and graphic design work, so thank you once again, Samm. And, of course, stay tuned here to BunchaJokahs for discussions, reactions, and to, of course, the upcoming Switch 2 madness, and whatever else Nintendo throws at us as well. So, I guess that's it for today's video. We'll see you then. Take care, and goodbye.
See you.